Hello and welcome to the channel. In this episode of the Depression Diaries, I'd like to just quickly talk about um, I had the second of two phone assessments to get onto the waiting list for psychotherapy, or as close to psychotherapy as I'm going to get. And between the first and second assessment phone calls, I sent a lot of, or as much information about my past as I possibly could. As a result of that, the lady who was doing the assessment seems to think that despite what I've said for years, that nothing traumatic has really happened to me, and that is quite right. I've not been sexually or physically abused, but what she looked at everything that I'd written, all of which is true, all of which you can look at on my blog, and it was written at a time when I was preparing to get my affairs in order because I was going to commit suicide. I was lucky enough to have a ticket to go and see a gig with Jimmy Carr, and that was going to be the day I killed myself. I was going to go see Jimmy Carr, and that was going to be the end of a perfect day, and because I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carr, and that was going to be how I was going to end my final day on this planet. See him, come home, do the deed. So in the week or so leading up to that, I started writing down as much as I could remember about what had happened to me in my life. So that was the stuff that I sent to the assessor, and she said that that I've probably been suffering from PTSD for longer than it wasn't just I got PTSD when I was on the COVID ward because of all the delusional fantasies that I got while I was on the ventilator, suffering from sepsis and delirious, that I've probably been suffering from PTSD in my most of my life. And she was saying that what I need is treatment for complex PTSD. So this isn't a one and done thing like the work I did to try and mitigate the PTSD I was suffering from on the COVID ward, that was kind of one and done. I managed to get enough out of the, I think it was 6 months worth of sessions of EMDR. I got the necessary psychological and intellectual tools to get over what happened there. I am probably still only going to get 6 months, but I've got a lot more to cover this time. And the trouble is, a lot of it was dug up because of what happened on the COVID ward. Those delusions were fed into by my previous PTSD symptoms, my previous traumas. So it's good that I've got a proper goal rather than what I normally go into these sessions. I just want to be just a tiny bit happier, but it's also going to be a massive bit of work to do with only 6 months to do it in. And I'm probably going to have to keep going back and back and back. And I because of what happened during my first lot of EMDR, the therapist at that point told me to take an online test for autistic traits, because I've never really fitted in with anyone ever. And I scored quite high. And the lady I was talking to a couple of days ago said that complex PTSD can sometimes create similar symptoms to autistic traits. So we've got a plan that we're going to try and deal as much as possible with the complex PTSD, and then once I've got as far as I can with that, then I'm going to try and get a proper diagnosis as to whether I have got some sort of autistic spectrum problem. Because I'm too frightened to take an autism test now, because if it comes back negative, I don't know what that would do to me. You know, why am I so different from other people? Why don't I fit in? If I'm not, if it turns out that I'm not as high on the autistic spectrum, And that worries me. And I'm also worried that people are attacking people like me who have got mental health issues and cannot work because of them. And that is adding more stress on top of everything. And I just wish people would understand. Yeah, I didn't realise that my problem was as my past was as traumatic as an objective observer looking at the true events of my life says that it probably was. And it seems that even when I was having good experiences in group therapy, we weren't getting anywhere close to what was actually causing me any problems. And that's hard to think that for about 20 years I have been focusing on the wrong stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you found it helpful or interesting, please click the like button. Share it if you know someone else who's going through mental health issues, who might want to feel that they're not alone, that there are people out there like them. And if you want more videos, regardless of what the content is, from me, then why not subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you know when the next video has been dropped. And I hope to see you again soon.